So today I'm going to talk about application platform that I did for a hackathon. So idea to deployment in 10 minutes. So first of all, I don't see people from deployment team, but like if you have any, they would really they would definitely laugh at me. It's like 10 minutes to deploy, and this idea to deployment, I'd make it more insane, saying like the development plus deployment is 10 minutes. So if you have an idea, it will take 10 minutes to develop the application and to deploy. I'm not talking about like production ready applications, but prototypes. So DIY is the name that we gave to our platform. So it's a simple prototyping platform where you can drag and drop different components and you can just connect them together, and instantly you can deploy it to the cloud. So I'll show you how it is done, and this can be used to like prototype. Like if you have an idea, how long will it take for you to actually implement it and see what the users are doing with it. So with this, it would take at most a day. So I'll show you examples how you can actually deploy live applications and how we did that. So before I move into the actual application itself, this is about the competition that we won. It is called TADHACK. So we had 36 hours to develop an application. So it was a worldwide event, so people from different countries compete, and there were around 150 teams and around 1,250 odd developers competing into different categories. So we had competitions simultaneously happening on Chicago, Spain, and all that places, and the prices were also very interesting. So the main goal in the application was, the hackathon was, we have to use one of these technologies and come up with an application within that time frame, which can actually, so the people from different, the sponsors will be judging the different applications and see which is more suitable. So the TADHACK itself is a telco hackathon, so people who are in telco business, so it's like the SMS providers, USSD, and all that is, all around the world will be looking at this competition, and so we happen to go there as well. So these guys were the sponsors. So we see big names like Google, Oracle, and so the Gulf panel come from. These guys will select different teams as like the best suit for their business, and they'll be giving prizes out to the people who they think that they win. So we'll be developing application during this 36 hours, and we'll be presenting our ideas. We were given 10 minutes to pitch the idea, and different like these guys will be selecting the best hack and eventually give the prizes. So we won. This is myself, Pasindu Perera, and Pasindu Perera. So the application. So we named it as do it yourself. So this URL we actually deployed within the time frame itself. So you can actually go there and see the application itself, and the stuff I'll be showing it on the live website itself. So this is the main dashboard. So this will be the main URL that if you go there, you just create an account, and we have some tutorials and all that is there. So I'll show you a simple application and see how we can actually create an application with the platform we have here. So if you take a typical web server, so this is the example that I'm going to show you. So if you take a typical web server, you will be handling different requests, and you eventually give a response, right? So if you are doing some processing, so you'll have some processing in between the request and the response, right? So for a typical application, we can do this. I'll give you a quick introduction of the application itself. So this is the application. You have different components here on the left, and so each of these are input nodes, output nodes, and you can actually deploy it from here. So for example, if it is a simple web server, you can just create an HTTP request. So this will comprise, this will be a HTTP request that you are handling from the application. And to do some processing on it, you need the HTTP response and a simple function. So you just connect these together. You need to give a path. So this example, hello. And also this node itself will create the response for the request that you are getting. So I'll just hello, let's say so I'll be so there you go. So you just deploy the application itself. So we'll be handling this request from this. We'll be getting the request to this particular node, and it will be handled to this node, and you give these parts are taken from the request itself. So if for example, if I pass this value, so I have actually done this previously, you will get the same response. So you'll be handling different requests as well, and this is actually live. You can go and see whether this works or not. Like this URL is live, and you can actually create this application just the way I did. Just you don't need anything else. So for example, this is a simple demonstration of how the system can be. So we support inputs from MQTT, HTTP, or so-called TCP, UDP, you name it, we have it. So if you have like, if there are some other protocols, we can actually implement these nodes as well. So it's just a matter of time that we need to call the particular node, and we can actually handle it to the application. So each of these applications will be a single thread. So whenever you get the request to this particular input node, it will be propagated to these lines, and you can do manipulations on this. So for example, we support Twitter. So any of you tweet here? So I have already given my credentials. So for example, somebody give me a hashtag.
Leapset.
Right. So for this demonstration, I'll just show it in the console itself and deploy. So if any of you can tweet anything related just with the hashtag Leapset. It should eventually come up here. And so what I'm doing right now is I'll be retweeting the tweet that has this particular hashtag with my account. So I'll just remove. Yeah, there you go. So I don't know, somebody else has. So we have these tweets from. I can actually get the name itself, but I don't know that. I only have the message there. So those are the actual tweets coming from the. I don't know who actually tweeted. So for example, if I just want to retweet it, I would just say retweet. So whenever somebody tweet with the hashtag Leapset, I'll be retweeting it. Somebody has done retweeted. Somebody retweeted. I should have that message itself. So you can get the idea, right? If somebody tweet, it will be eventually retweeted by myself with the Leapset hashtag. So that can be done in just connecting these components. So that is just the tip of the iceberg. Like you can do all sort of things. You can connect to IRC clients, you can pair files, you can store in MongoDB, you can store in a file, you take out from the MongoDB, you can do sentiment analysis and all that is there. So you can do, like, if you are not familiar with functions and all, we have the abstraction of the functions. Like for example, if you do switch, we'll give the particular variable that we need to switch. So you can do various. So each of these will be. So this particular switch will have two outputs based on the criteria that we have given. So you can do multiplexing of the request and all that is there. And if you look at the source code itself, the application, this part, like we can do this. So this application is just, this is the application. So you don't have any source code. We have the configuration here, all the configuration that you need to run this application, and you just take this, copy this, and you can actually send it to somebody else, and usually they can actually paste it here as well. So all that is there. So we do have an app store, but it is not that popular. We have like several applications. So for example, this is the application that we did on the presentation itself, where we did the 10-minute speech. So you can just import it here. So this is this TADHACK hashtags, and we do check the duplicates. For example, if you tweet, again I'll be tweeting the same thing. The tweet that I did will be again taken as an input, and you'll be retweeting it, and so after sometimes it will be like only RT. So because we'll be retweeting again and again. So that part is there, and so all that is just like you can do it in 10-20 minutes. So I'll just clear this out, so you can actually create screens, sheets, and all that is there. And this is actually saved in a particular user. So all this configuration is saved as per user, so you can share the code among users. And actually, you just need to go there and see the full functionality. It's not that difficult. Like take these components and connect them the way you want, and it will be deployed. So that is the application demo part. So the hackathon culture. Hackathon is like you'll be bunch of people coming together to do something, and you'll be given time frame. You'll be working on that particular project for that the time period, and you'll be after that you'll be most probably need to present what you have done, and there can be the angels there who will be investing on you, or there can be like judge panel which will be judging the things you have done. They don't really care about how you code. They don't really. What they need is the final product. If it is working, that's fine. So if you are going for a hackathon, what you need to do is prototype as quickly as possible. Of course, the food is provided, so you don't need to go out and see find food and all that is already provided, and focus on this particular idea, the idea that you will be doing. And in some hackathons, they allow you to pitch your ideas in the very startup. So there will be line of people coming and saying like, this is what I want to do during this time, doing different projects. So in this hackathon, actually we had to submit the idea beforehand, because they had some they need to select only in Sri Lanka we had only 20 teams, so there were around 50 or 60 odd people applied, and so need to selection. So in that case we had to actually give the idea beforehand. But there are hackathons like you just walk in with an idea and you find random people in the hackathon and who would be interested in doing the project with you. So you just need to work with them and make the idea concrete. So you can do those are like different cultures, and most importantly, do not code in hackathons. code as less as you can. Use the components or tools, different tools, different frameworks as much as you can, because more you code, more the bugs will be, and it will be difficult to actually debug the code itself. So it's better to use frameworks, different tools. There are plenty of tools that are available. All just need to Google search, and because the problems you will be having during a hackathon, it's generic questions. So most probably somebody has already done that, and there will be a tool for that. So you don't need to actually do the coding itself. And before you go for a hackathon, make sure you know the basic things that you need to handle if you are developing an application, user management, session management. All that is, there are frameworks for that. So what you need to do is make sure you know the framework and how that is handled, because you won't be writing a user management system in a hackathon. So you don't need to know what you do, user forget your password, and you're not coding a user management system, right? You'll be coding the core part, the application itself. So all that needs to be ready before you go for a hackathon. If you have that ready, you can actually do better, because you will be doing the application, not the side components, like small parts. So for Leapset, organizing a hackathon is one of the main thing is you won't be having a ramp up time. So if you are a developer, you might know that you do the coding for whole day, and the next day morning you won't be having the stuff you can't remember why you put that if they are, and how the requests are coming and all that. You don't need if you have the if you are working straight, you don't need to remember the stuff, because you know the stuff. And since you are doing it 24 hours or 36 hours straight, you know the designs, you know the decisions people made and why you made that, because you don't need to reference a document to find out what actually why we wanted to do it like this, because there will be the people who are taking the decision, and they are the ones who are actually developing the application. So all that is cut off. So for example, if you are developing an application straight, we don't need most of this documentation stuff, and but it is needed at the end to document stuff and make it more progressive. But for the actual prototyping, you don't need that. So all that is can be easily removed, and actually we don't really document in a hackathon, so you just need to code and exposure to tools. So you'll get to know many tools and how you can use those tools to the stuff that you think that you are the only one who is facing the problem. So it's you can just take a tool and configure it to do what you wanted to do, rather than coding the tool itself. And most probably it will be fun. So you see a bunch of people buying around, they are sleeping everywhere, and they do all sort of funny stuff when they work for 24 hours. After that, it will be so fun. People will be wandering around, and it will be you need to be there, the fun, to see the fun, and bean bags are there. They'll be sleeping on each of these bean bags, and they'll off to the floor, and it will be fun to have a hackathon here. So